Tonight, a potential pay increase could be coming to teachers across the state. However, this could only happen if lawmakers approve this year's budget plans, and if approved, new teachers may see a 33% annual bump in pay. Clara Faith now joins us live in studio to break down those numbers. And Clara, what are you seeing?
Well, currently, Ohio Education Association says 62% of school districts have teachers starting salaries under $40,000. However, new teachers entering the workforce are usually offered about $30,000. If the budget plan is passed, new teachers' base pay will be $40,000. OEA says this could bring less stress to young teachers.
People don't need that extra added stress of trying to figure out how they're going to pay the bills. If this change can help people be able to focus more on just having one job instead of 2 or 3 jobs, then that is good news.
And Clara, I know you spoke with some educators themselves, so what was their response to this budget plan?
At least their response were positive, but they do say they respect the current pay. Now, lawmakers must vote on the budget plans by June. By the end of June, educators I spoke with say they hope the budget plan does pass. Now back to you.
Clara, thank you. And tonight we are learning more about an officer-involved shooting that happened on Miller Lane last week. And now, for the first time, we're hearing the 911 call tonight from the suspect's girlfriend who made that call to police. Take a listen.
Are you shot?
No, I'm not shot. He shot at me and took off walking down whatever, I don't know what this is. Whatever street, Redwood, Dayton, and Oregon.
Okay, what's his name?
His name's Champaign Logan.
Tonight, we're also getting a first look at body camera footage and photos from the scene. Now, watch this video closely. You can actually see when the suspect, Tavion Booker, lowered his hands, pulled up his pants, and then reached for a gun from his right pocket. Police ordered Booker to drop that gun, but he refused, and he was shot 3 times by the officer. Officers immediately began rendering first aid until medics arrived. Police say this isn't the first time he's had a run-in with police.
Tavion Booker does have prior contacts with law enforcement. I believe that most of them are probably misdemeanor and prior traffic, but he does have prior engagement with local law enforcement.
Booker is in stable condition at Miami Valley Hospital. He's now facing a charge of discharging of a firearm. Now, there's 3 separate investigations all happening at the same time, so I want to walk you through each one. The first, the shooting investigation involving Booker and his girlfriend. The second, Ohio BCI's investigation of the officer-involved shooting. And then the third is the Huber Heights Police Division, which is conducting an internal affairs review. That officer is currently on paid administrative leave and will stay on leave pending the results of those investigations. Tonight, we are working to learn more about a chase that started in Moraine and ended in a crash along Patterson Boulevard. Dayton police tell us several arrests were made and the car was stolen. Right now, we're working to find out the names of those suspects. As soon as we learn any new information, we'll update you on air and online. And we want to give you a live look tonight from the Miami Valley Jail's website here behind me, where this man was found guilty today by a jury in Dayton on multiple counts of rape, kidnapping, and felonious assault. 43-year-old Tiandre Turner was identified as having raped at least 2 women in the area of West Grand Avenue back in 2014. Now, according to court records, Turner was found not guilty in 2 of the 18 charges. He will be sentenced May 3rd. 7 Belmont High School students arrested after multiple people were taken to the hospital following a fight. Dayton police say 1 student used pepper spray during the incident, making several people ill. 1 student was taken to the hospital due to asthma, while another was taken to the hospital by a parent. Now, the 7 girls are facing assault, criminal damaging, and inciting a riot charges. We now know at least 2 people under arrest after being accused of running a brothel inside a Kettering home. The bust took place in this area on the map behind me of Schroyer Road near the intersection of Far Hills. Melena Brown spoke with officials about what led up to that bust.
Yesterday, a man and woman were indicted after being accused of running a prostitution operation out of their home. Police were tipped off anonymously in January and have been investigating since.
There was some online postings about somebody soliciting some prostitution in the city of Kettering. From there, an investigation was conducted, which led up to an eventual search warrant at the location and an indictment to follow.
I'm told this is an isolated incident with no connection to any other prostitution bust in the area. I reached out to the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office as well as other law enforcement agencies, but unfortunately I was able to sit down and talk with them today. As this develops, we will continue to update you on air and online. For Dayton 24/7 Now News, I'm Melena Brown.
It was absolutely gorgeous out today, and I know we have one more day where we're going to see that. So, of course, we need to make it last, right?
We want it to last as long as possible, but yeah, we'll soak up what we can while we have it here, because here's a look at temperatures. We're in the 70s. We actually warmed up a couple of degrees, sitting at 71 in Dayton, 62 in Troy, 63 up in Wapakoneta. It's warm, and it's going to be a fairly mild night across the area, too. I got a little cloud cover building into the north. All of us sitting much warmer. We're 23 degrees warmer in Dayton, 22 degrees warmer up in Wapakoneta. And then through the rest of the day tomorrow, kids will start out in the 50s, maybe needing a light sweater out at the bus stop, but not necessary for the afternoon as we climb into the lower 80s. Sunshine looking pretty good for the day tomorrow. I'll have the rest of the week's forecast because we do have that cold front on the way. I'll let you know when that arrives and how cool we'll get.
Northmont parents voicing their concerns tonight as the district announced Monday they were reopening the indoor track at the high school to the public. Now, after more than 100 comments on this Facebook post, they suspended the opening. Gwyneth Falloon joins us live from high school, outside the high school, I should say, after speaking with parents this afternoon. And Gwen, why are they so concerned about this?
Elise, they tell me that the indoor track is located above the gym where students have class, and it overlooks the cafeteria. They say the district is looking to open it to the public during school hours 3 days a week. Parents tell me they feel it's unsafe and say there are other resources that are available.
But we do have the YMCA that is just right down the street that has an indoor track, and I believe with the Silver Sneakers program they're able to have free access to that track. So we also have the outdoor track around the football field that they can use, that they do have access through as well.
So there are other resources?
Correct. There's other options, other better options where we're not putting our children at risk.
So Gwen, what's the district actually saying about all this?
So I spoke with the district's information officer, Jenny Wood, earlier this afternoon. She did tell me that they did suspend the reopening, but she also says there is only one entrance and therefore only one exit. Guests are buzzed in, their IDs are held, and there are also school resource officers on campus. However, many parents tonight are saying it's not enough. If you would like to hear more from them or read the full story, you can find that on our website. That's Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Gwen, thank you. Tomorrow, Ohio Congressman Mike Turner will be hosting the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Now, this is the first time leaders of several major intelligence bureaus, including the CIA director and the director of National Security Agency, will be together to learn what goes on at Wright-Pat.
The Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, who's toured Wright-Patterson Air Force Base with me, actually suggested that we do this. This is an opportunity for us as a committee also to do our strategic planning. We're working on a very bipartisan basis to be able to see ways in which we can advance national security, support the intelligence community, and we'll be doing that right at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
The visit will be lasting 2 days and will include discussions between committee members and Wright-Pat senior leaders. Of course, we're going to have coverage from this both on air and online, so make sure you check out our website, Dayton247now.com, this time tomorrow for more on Turner's visit. Tonight, we now know a third person is in custody in connection to the mass shooting that killed 4 people at a birthday party. 20-year-old Wilson Lamar Hill Jr. now faces 4 counts of reckless murder for allegedly opening fire on a Sweet 16 birthday party in Dadeville over the weekend. He joins 2 teen brothers who were arrested and charged last night. Prosecutors are vowing to file additional charges against all 3.
When I tell you that this is just the tip of the iceberg and forthcoming charges, literally, we're going to make sure every one of those victims has justice and not just the deceased.
Apart from the fatalities, 32 others were injured in the shooting. 4 are still in critical condition. A man is now charged, or facing charges, I should say, after police say he shot a teen after she mistakenly got into the wrong car. Now, this happened in Texas. Heather Roth says she realized she was in the wrong car when she saw a stranger in the passenger seat. She then panicked and then got into the right car, which was her friend's car. Roth told police she tried to apologize, but the man got out and started shooting, grazing her with a bullet. Now, her teammate and friend was shot in the leg and back, but is expected to be okay. That man now charged with engaging in deadly conduct. And the man accused of shooting 16-year-old Ralph Yarl pleaded not guilty. 84-year-old Andrew Lester now faces first-degree assault and armed criminal action charges. Prosecutors say the shooting happened after Yarl accidentally went to the wrong address to pick up his younger siblings. According to court documents, Lester told police he lives alone and thought someone was trying to break into his home. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says he is not surprised by Lester's plea.
Everybody assumed he was going to try to make some kind of stand your ground defense, some kind of self-defense argument.
Missouri is one of about 30 states with similar laws that say residents can respond with force if they're threatened in their homes. Now, Yarl was shot in the forehead and arm and survived. If convicted on the assault charge, Lester could face up to life in prison. Tonight, Bengals running back Joe Mixon facing a judge on a criminal charge. It stems from an alleged road rage episode back in January. That's when he's accused of pointing a gun at a woman and threatening to shoot her. The charges were later dropped in February due to the investigator not discussing the case with his supervisor. However, those charges were then refiled this month due to new evidence. Mixon pleaded not guilty and was released on $10,000 bond, and he was asked today to set the record straight.
Mixon, you're a public figure that so many people look up to. Do you have any comment for being accused of this?
Mixon is ordered to have no contact with the victim in the case. The Bengals organization said it is aware of the misdemeanor charge, but do not want to comment any further. The family of the Tennessee man who died after police were seen on camera beating him is now suing the city.
God took him home, but now it's my turn to make sure that my son's death does not go in vain.
Tyree Nichols died 3 days after the beating back in January. He had been pulled over for reckless driving. Video of the whole encounter led to 5 officers being fired. They're also charged with second-degree murder. This lawsuit blames the city, the police director, and first responders for Nichols' death and accuses officials of allowing the Special Scorpion Unit's aggressive tactics to go unchecked.
We will show you why it is landmarked because of the depth and breadth of this indifference. They beat him, they ignored him, they mocked him, they took pictures of him. And lest we not forget, they lied.
The suit seeks $550 million. Nichols' mother says it's not about the money, it's about holding people accountable so it doesn't happen again anywhere. The city of Memphis declined to comment on the lawsuit. The Ohio River, now the second most endangered river in the nation. What's causing the river's risk and what's being done to fix it? And an arrest has been made in the last year's deadly state house shooting. What we now know about the latest developments in the case tonight.
And a warm one tomorrow, but it doesn't last for much longer. I'll have the latest coming up. Here's a live look from our EcoFlummer Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We're learning tonight officials believe they found the person responsible for a deadly shooting on the Ohio State House lawn last year. Lydia Bice is at the Now Desk. And Lydia, who exactly did they arrest?
That's right. Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers arrested 17-year-old Trayvon A. Robinson today after nearly a year-long investigation. Robinson was arrested in connection to the May 29, 2022 shooting on the Ohio State House lawn, which took the life of 16-year-old Broderick Harper. Police say Harper could be seen riding a scooter in front of the State House steps just before 10 p.m. that night. Once the group stops together, Harper falls over. Officials say he later died at the scene. Now, the United States Marshal Service and Columbus Division of Police assisted in this investigation. Robinson is currently being held on charges at the Franklin County Juvenile Detention Center. Back to you.
Well, a warm wind across the Miami Valley, some showers and thunderstorms to our northwest, a little complex that's weakening, but it is sending some of those high clouds kind of blowing off that complex. And that's really just about it expected from that, potentially a shower making its way through. But otherwise, the bigger picture here showing this pretty big storm system bringing severe weather back off to our west. We're sitting in the warm sector of this system, and we're going to be above normal as we head into these next several days. So this is what we're tracking, or next day, I should say. As we look into the start of the day tomorrow, we're tracking 50s. By the afternoon, we have 80s. It's going to start to warm up, going to be a warm, kind of breezy afternoon. But then by Friday, our next weather maker moves in. So this is going to bring showers into the area. Rain is expected during most of the day on Friday. Temperature-wise, highs in the 60s, but we'll spend most of the day in the 50s as that cold front makes its way through before we eventually cool off. I'll have the rest of the week's forecast coming up.
Tonight, a proposal to ban all of TikTok from government devices. Now, the proposal extends that ban to all apps owned, developed, or provided by ByteDance. If passed, it would also ban WeChat or any apps or service owned by an entity located in China. This comes among national security concerns with China. Multiple states have proposed and passed similar bills, with Montana completely banning the app on all devices within the state. Live pictures tonight from the Capitol building. This is House Speaker Kevin McCarthy officially unveiled a sweeping package that would raise the nation's debt limit by $1.5 trillion, but also roll back spending and some of President Biden's top policy achievements.
This responsible legislation will be led by our budget chairman, Jody Arrington. Would responsibly raise the debt limit into next year and provide more than $4.5 trillion in savings to the American taxpayer.
The Limit, Save, Grow Act has almost no chance of becoming law. It's more meant to put pressure on Biden to respond. Now, it rolls back spending to 2022 levels, claws back unspent COVID funds, and imposes a 1% cap on future federal spending for the next decade. It would also rescind Biden's student loan relief plan and impose tougher work requirements on recipients of government aid. For the White House, it's a non-starter.
They want to increase costs for hardworking families, take food assistance and health care away from millions of Americans, and increase the debt when combined with House Republicans' proposal for tax giveaways skewed for the super rich, special interests, and profitable companies. And that seems to be their priority.
McCarthy's aiming for a House floor vote on that measure by next week. Tonight, the Ohio River is at risk. In fact, a new report says it is the second most endangered river in the nation. Pollution and flooding brought on by climate change put clean water for millions at risk. Morella Porter brings us what to know from that report.
The Ohio River has come a long way since the Clean Water Act 50 years ago. Its ranking on the endangered list shows how much further it has to go, fighting a legacy of fossil fuel pollution and other challenges, including toxic chemicals and sewage. This list isn't about being the worst, it's about vulnerability. These rivers are at a crossroads, and the American Rivers Organization believes key decisions in the coming months will determine their fate.
This is a water body that's worth saving. Not only has it largely built our region because it's a transportation channel for so many of our goods, but there's a real opportunity because it's the drinking water for 5 million people.
For the first time, a large group of stakeholders are creating a plan to try and get Congress to place federal protections on the Ohio and the river basin to commit to sustained funding.
It's not designated as a geographic initiative and receives no federal funding.
to restore the water quality in the river. So that's very basically what we're advocating for.
American Rivers and other groups will be on Capitol Hill in June lobbying for a restoration plan they're now drafting. And now we want to give you a look at some of the sights and sounds from Riverscape around sunset tonight. It is pretty warm still, but it was a beautiful night, and obviously everyone getting out there to enjoy it. Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters joining us again tonight to tell us this nice weather just may not last all weekend.
Yeah, we got about one more day to enjoy some of this nice warmer weather. In fact, tomorrow, warmest day of these next 7 days, potentially could be the warmest day of the year that we've had so far. 81, that's our forecast high for tomorrow. Could get a little bit warmer than that. Record to beat, 85 set back in 1915. So we'll be fairly close. I don't think we'll quite get there, but it's going to be a close call. Either way, going to be well above normal as we head into the day tomorrow. As far as what we're expecting for the rest of the week, though, colder air does slide in. So by Sunday, our highs drop back down into the upper 40s. So it does get chillier again, back well below normal for this time of the year. So colder air will make its way back in. I'll have a look at our 7-day with the latest coming up.
A nearby nonprofit celebrating a big feat, how they were able to save millions of pounds of food from ending up in the trash. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. A nearby